just before we started recording, I said, Dutch, this is sort of late entry, nothing in the format. I just wanted you to watch this. It was the segment AEW Dynamite last night as we record this, because we record this on a Thursday, not a Friday, of Ricochet being confronted by the Hurt, formerly the Hurt Business, and what the heck are they called now? The Hurt something. Dynasty or something, I don't know.
It's the Hurt Business, right?
No, that's what they were in WWE. The Hurt Business, for all intents and purposes, okay. Anyway. Bobby Lashley, MVP, Shelton Benjamin. You watched the segment. Tell us what happened. Tell us the impression you got from it.
Well, they had Ricochet in the ring with Tony Schiavone. And Ricochet is not a very good talker. You could tell he was struggling to get his message out. And I guess his message was to the Hurt Business. And he came down, he was talking about, and I don't follow AEW that much, but I guess they're having a tournament of some sort. What's that called?
Continental Classic. It's like a round robin thing, and everyone wrestles everyone and they get points at the end of it. And he did something years ago. I seem to remember doing that as well.
Oh, I hate tournaments. I really do.
Why?
I just hate them. I never had a really good feeling about it because. Anyway.
Well, yeah, again, this tournament thing. Okay, so there's two kind of like tournaments in wrestling. Really, there's like the single knockout tournament. And one winner, and then there's the round robin where everyone wrestles everyone. I remember like there was a Starrcade decades ago where they did this round robin kind of thing, and everyone hated it because pretty much everyone had to lose at some point. And I guess that sort of ruins the mystique to a point, does it not, Dutch?
Well, it does. Overall, it does, because you got to see a guy lose. And he's probably the favorite, unless he's just a hell of an underdog. And he's going to win the tournament. He could lose the first round and then all of a sudden rally. But those matches have to really, really be booked correctly, booked right. The announcers have to be in on it. And you got to make this, if you want a guy to be a star, everybody has to make him look like a star. And the announcers, and we'll talk about that in just a minute, but the announcers have to, they're the ones making the guy. So, yeah, but I don't like the tournaments because when a tournament drops with the crowd, you never get them back. I mean, you never get that. I mean, that rush of energy coming again. Because once you lose it, and then you got different people in there, it doesn't transfer over. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but once that crowd drops, it's hard to bring them back.
Oh, I've seen some one-night tournaments that were bloody awful, I tell you. WrestleMania 4 is a famous one. God, that was a terrible show. Anyway, back to Ricochet. Right, so we were talking Ricochet last week. We've talked Ricochet quite a lot recently, but last week he made some radio show appearance where he basically said that, and we couldn't tell if he was doing a bit or being in character, because it just sort of just sounded like him. But he said basically that because of him, AEW existed. And then he's gone into this where it looks like he's becoming a bad guy, I think. It's quite difficult to tell with Ricochet if that's just how he speaks, but I don't know.
Well, if you're going to tell us, Ricochet is at the point now where he's trying to get over. He's trying to gain the acceptance of the crowd. But what I've seen so far is confusion. You don't know what he's doing, but there is a point with that where you don't give a crap what he's doing because it just doesn't interest you. Ricochet is probably one of the best ring technicians out there. But personality-wise, he could take a few lessons on that. And that's not a knock on him. That's just he's better performing moves than he is talking about it. So anyway, he went to the ring with Hurt Business, and they snatched him up and tore up a card from the leader of the group that was in there, and and just told him to leave. And he tucked his tail between his legs and he left. So it made him look like, they were bullying him. And if the only way this can work, if they since they've started it this way, they got to tell the story that he finally gets back to one of those guys and tries to get even with them. But I don't think people watch wrestling. I mean, to me, Ricochet is not over yet, especially in AEW. All they saw him do in WWE was get beat. So now they're trying to make him, and we'll see if their strategy pays off. I'm going to say they've already backed themselves into a hole, and if they can get out of it, fine. If not, well, you heard it here first. They're going to have a hard road to hoe.
They've killed him off. When I watched it with you, I was like,
you can't kill anybody off in wrestling. You can hurt them, but you can always give them 3 weeks off in a month and then bring them back and do something else with them. Hard to kill somebody off. I've seen it done, and sometimes it was done on purpose, except the talent didn't know that. But all we've seen him do up to this point with WWE basically is he was just a top-notch enhancement talent. And he did a good job, but didn't get him over.
The impression I got was that he was turning heel, and he may actually be joining the Hurt Syndicate, by the way, not the Hurt Business anymore, because WWE owns Hurt. But for God's sake, it took me 5 minutes to remember that. That being said, I got the impression that he was turning heel, and actually he was going to join the Hurt Syndicate. But I'm sort of at a bit of a loss of what's happening there, other than the fact that he sort of just got punked out.
If he joins them, of course, now the next move is they're going to have to turn against him, kick him out, do something, hurt him, and then now he's going to come back. That is a way to get out of this. But there is nothing to dislike about Ricochet, really. He's not, I don't know, his moves are too good. And people know what he can do, and I think they'll be confused, like, why is he doing this? I mean, even fans who have watched it for years, they're going to sit back and go, yeah, okay, whatever. Do something that's out of the ordinary, and we may pick up on it. If not, you just singing to the choir. See, that's the deal about wrestling. Wrestling fans have seen everything, almost everything there is to see in 50 years of, I guess, of taped or recorded pro wrestling. There's nothing that hasn't been seen. Guys were set on fire. Guys fell off the poles to the floor or missed tables 15 feet in the air. They come down and hit the concrete. It would kill an ordinary person, but they've seen just about every turn and everything else, every promo. But when a guy goes out there now and does a great promo, it's memorable because you don't really get that many of them. But we'll see what happens. We'll keep a close eye on Ricochet. I wish him the best, and I wish Tony Khan the best. I wish AEW the best, and we'll see what happens.
I'm fascinated with where they're going to be going with Ricochet because they've put in so much stock with him, but they've already beaten him several times, and then they've done this with him.
Okay, so they beat him several times on the show?
Not on one show, but since he's debuted with AEW, yeah, he's lost a few times, yeah. Hey, there you go. Well,
wait a minute, I'm like this. I'm like, what in the hell? You want a guy to get over, so let's do everything we can to assure that he doesn't get over.